Good evening. It is February 1st, 2014. The beginning of the moon beat that geese some. The eagle moon in Lethbridge, Alberta. As the sun goes down on the horizon, it's magic hour. And I'm headed out on a ruck march. I've got 25 pounds on my back. I've got 10 pounds of ankle weight on my legs. So an extra 35 pounds, basically. And I've been kind of getting into this ruck marching thing as a good fitness form. I've been taking it a little bit easy because I've got a intercostal injury that I'm waiting to heal completely up. But once that's healed completely, I plan to include some run interstices, if that's the right word, running interstices along with my hikes, so that I'm jogging, I'm hiking, I'm keeping a fast pace, I'm moving up and down rough natural terrain out here in the coulees of West Lethbridge where I live, and all kinds of weather conditions. I got a new pack coming. Just checking out some different rucksacks. Found one made by Oakley that looks pretty tough. Something comparable to a military style pack rucksack, but maybe even built a bit better. And so I'm looking forward to that. It should be shipping to me this week. And yeah, I think it's just good to get out and move at a good pace, do a little cardio, especially going up the hill. Have an hour's worth of walking or more outside in the fresh air. It's all stuff that's good for you, and I get to see what's going on with the nature in the coulee, if anything's changed since my last visit or something's happening. So I'm headed down to the river. Hopefully I can make it all the way down today. We do have a lot of snowfall, or a lot of snow on the ground, and things are freezing. It's not too bad, 8 degrees below zero right now, but there's a little bit of a breeze, and I can already feel it like chilling me. When I get sweaty, that breeze is going to be really chilly, so I got to watch out. Anyway, hopefully I can get down there, pick up a good rock, add it to the weight of my pack, haul it back up to the top, and add it to the stone cairn I'm building up here, my fitness cairn, sun effigy. Anyway, let's see what's shaking down at the river. Just giving you a look at the river this evening, in case you're following my videos, in contrast to last visits here. What we were seeing last time was that there were geese hanging out around. This is the Shoreline Beaver Lodge right here, and there were geese hanging around downstream at what was an opening, river opening crag. It's now iced over. It does appear that there's a little bit of open water, here, a little bit further downstream, but no geese to speak of. Upstream, there is a good open pool, but again, it looks like no birds. They must be elsewhere this evening. And something curious on the ice. See if I can find it here. There it is. I don't know what this curious thing is. Something dark on the ice. The river ice, usually see something like that. It's indicative of a body of some kind, or possibly a good rock that rolled out. I suppose rock is probably the more likely than a body, but I've seen lots of waterfowl bodies, but usually they're not left there. They usually got some predator hanging out eating them. So I'm headed down. I'm gonna go see if I can find me a rock. Looks like we may have some geese preparing to land at the underwater crag upstream that I was showing before. In fact, if they're going to come in there, it might be the case that we'll see a lot of geese show up, since it is that time of the evening. Yeah, I see some others coming in, other groups now, higher in the sky. Just small groups so far though. I'm going to try to get down onto the river, see if any big groups come in. Alright, there are lots of flocks of geese making their way down to the river at this time, but so far I've seen from them, almost all of them have turned away from this water crag, this opening, and decided to move further downstream. And I think that is because there's a coyote over there laying in wait for them. It looks like this flock now coming in is landing, but I did definitely see a coyote moving along the shoreline over there, so this flock may just not have seen him, whereas the other flocks did and decided to quickly abandon the scene. Yeah, there's some really big flocks coming in. Look at that. This is the goose hour, when the geese arrive back to the river. Some of these groups, a lot of times I'll see them do some fancy flying. Geese might come in, might free fall upside down, which makes a kind of a whistling noise, just to kind of show off. Yeah, the first time I saw an event like this was right down here at this very spot, the same river crag, the same opening, maybe about 5 years ago. And even many more geese than this. I mean, tonight it looks like we got, hundreds, if not more than 1,000 geese coming in, but can very easily get far more than that. Like I said, most of the flocks already went downstream away from this site. Anyway, I always find that to be a pretty awesome thing that happens. I remember when I went to Australia a few years back for a conference in Melbourne. Not far away from Melbourne, we went out to this place. I think it's called Phillips Island, And out there, there was an event where every night these penguins come back to the beach. They've been out in the surf all day, and they all come back at one time at dusk like this, back onto the beach. And it's a huge event, like hundreds of people gather, tourists, to watch the penguins come and do this. And really what we're seeing here with the geese is not at all different than that spectacle with the penguins. You know, any winter night you can come out here to the open water crags where they are going to be roosting for the evening, and on the good nights you can see many thousand arrive at once at dusk, and it's quite a sight in my opinion. Anyway, I'm down here now on the river. That thing that I was seeing before that I wasn't sure what it was on the ice, this is it. Looks to be like it's probably a rock come down off of the cliff. I'm gonna get one of these snow-covered rocks and wipe it off. Try to pry it out of the ground, although it's probably iced to the other rocks, and then try to get back up that slope with this slippery, powdery snow. We'll see. Well, one way or another, I'll be up there. That's just the bottom of the slope. Yeah, first sliver of the new moon this evening. And this would normally be the moon. Beat that geese some, which is the eagle moon. But, as I was saying in one of my other videos the other day, I believe that in terms of the lunar cycle, this is going to be our leap year. And rather than being the eagle moon, this is actually going to be the Sametsikism, the deceptive moon. It comes once every 3 or 4 years. But we'll see if that pans out. If the owls don't start nesting in the next 28 days, then yeah, this is a Sametsikism. If they do start nesting, then it is still eagle moon, and I'm just going to consider it to be an eagle moon as usual until it proves otherwise. Okay, so here's my little pile of rocks now. I got 5. So I can see them. Yeah, keep going. Lots more to do to make the kind of cairn that I'm talking about. It'd probably take me a couple of years to get it looking where, kind of like how I want it. Anyway, back up at the top, obviously, and moving back toward the neighborhood. It's a lot darker out here to me than it looks in my viewfinder. It's a nice thing about lenses and stuff. Take in quite a bit of light. Anyway, head home.